The conditions I've been in have really proven to me when and why you want anti-lock brakes the most. Very comforting, rain up to San Francisco, fog like you can't believe, gravel, silt from, roads like this. They've removed the snow, and there's kind of an unseen silt on the road. I've been sliding through a lot of that. And the anti-lock brakes just add something to the equation to make it a nicer, more confident ride. I'm not going sport bike speed, and I don't want to. I could go a lot faster, but you can carry a really good clip just pretty much effortlessly. I call that Lance Corner right there, for good reason. The day developing great, starting to break, great road, you're along with me. Hey, can't get much better than this. Wish you were actually here on a bike, but I think this might be the next best thing. Starting to clear out some clouds. When I get to the coast, anything's possible. It could be clear and glorious, could be windy, could be totally overcast. A lot of historical vehicles out today. I think I see one ahead. I've seen a lot of historical plates, old cars, well spread out, but pretty cool seeing some cool stuff so far. 3 Porsches, cool. We'll just follow some older Porsches. Roll cage in the back one, Carrera. Wish they'd figure out where the side of the road is. You just know the guy in the back wants to be in the front. Well, so much for the Porsches. Fog is rolling in. Staying pretty dirty this time of year. Now, it's corners like this. The brakes just have a good feel, good feedback, predictable. Could be stronger, but other than that, really work well, and I really like them. Dragging the rear brake a little bit for stability when what could be a dirty corner. Another roll cage in this Porsche. Wave me by, thank you. Muddy, tractors entering and exiting here. Every ride for me is about finishing the ride as safely as possible. And then after that comes loads of fun. Well, that's an interesting twist. Let's see if I can get it. Just barely. One of the many Porsches, I just passed about 10 more. One of them decided to biff it on an increasing radius, or decreasing radius corner. See the skid marks. Looks like all was okay. He's got about 10 buddies stopped with him. The cars, with the other cars. And these corners right here are decreasing radius. Can bite you big time. If you know what's coming up, they're a great practice for you. This is how the 650 was presented to me. Casual, easy riding, and I gotta tell you, it is just great for that. And it's particularly smooth when you're just cruising. It's geared so high that you're not turning very many R's. And I think one of the reasons it is geared so high is I think BMW was masking the fact that this engine does vibrate. And most of the time I don't notice it, I ignore it, but it definitely vibrates as the revs come up quite a bit. Like I say, I test, I see it, I feel it, but I'm able to totally ignore it as I ride. It's not a factor, but I'd be remiss if I didn't tell you, yeah, this bike's got some vibration. But this bike does inspire me to have fun. It inspires me to go ride, twist the throttle, use the brakes, and enjoy the ride as well. So that's the point I want to make, that this is no foo-foo bike or anything else. I think you can see through the video, this bike does a great job just about everywhere. I love the red color. It's a beautiful red, and so far it's holding up well. Very attractive. The gauges, as you might see in the camera, when the sun's right behind you, they can be blinding. Everywhere else they're okay, but when the sun's behind you over your shoulder, lots of reflection. I've had that before, much worse than right now, and it just pops back at you and you can't read the gauges. You know, you got real handlebars, so you can adjust them. Normally, I think that when handlebars come from the factory or the dealer, they're slightly forward. On this bike, it puts a tweak into your hands. It's uncomfortable. I've rotated them back closer to me, more of a natural drop with my hand, just slightly back, took away the kink in my hand, and easier to reach, not pulling against it, just far better, superior, since I made a very slight move of the bars. And that is one of the great things about having the adjustability of a standard bar. You know, right now I'm resting my butt, standing up. It's a lot harder to stand up on the 650 than the 800. Not sure where that's coming from. I think the foot peg location is exactly the same. I think the bars and the bar riser may be the culprit. Set back a little bit closer to the rider, maybe not as high. It's harder to, you gotta lean forward to stand on the bike, but you can still do it comfortably, just not as easily. For a good rest, stretch the back, rest the butt, which you need to do on this bike repeatedly. But you can tell there's less wind noise standing up here with the direct blast than there is sitting behind the fairing. Right here, you get noise around the helmet. This being a full-on street bike as is presented by BMW, though I wouldn't mind taking this off-road and giving it a whack on smooth dirt roads at all, because the handling characteristics are there. You know, if it's going to be a street bike, make it a street bike. If they could have put a higher rise windshield on, more like they do on the R1200GS, give us a wind envelope, at least in the very center, maybe not on the sides. I think the reason they didn't do that is because they already had this fairing for the 800, and because it would change and take away from the styling to some degree. That matters. On a trip like this, it means everything. Commuting, it means everything as far as warmth, comfort,